How you guys doing today? So on this week of the Playbook, we go over week 10. We talk about the Seahawks and the 49ers, game of the year for us up to this point. Talk about Russell Wilson, talk about this 49ers front seven, how that defense is pretty good. Then we're going to go talk about our most improved players, give you the picks. Oregon is number 6 in the college football playoff rankings right now. We went out. We're in. It's going to be interesting. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Heck, it's me. Ha, ha.
What's good, football fans? I'm Rob Planner. I'm with Joe Hackett. This is the Playbook. Joe.
J-E-T-S. Jets. Another Jets victory.
Yeah, so this week, Jets got a win. It was a big one, needed it for sure. Gase is going to be around. We found out for sure today, Wednesday the 13th.
Yep.
He'll be here next year. Kind of a good thing. Joe, I know we were going to talk Seahawks, 49ers first. Do you have anything you want to talk about with Gase staying around?
I'm happy he's staying around for starters, but I have a question for you. And
Yeah.
that's, why is anime so tough, son?
It's just honestly. So the thing is, Joe and our friend David, fellow Sports Opinions podcaster, has me watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good, man. It really is. It's like a very Western anime. I like it. I can't lie. I'm on episode 9 right now, and just getting through it. I know it gets better as the parts go on, but this first season is pretty good.
Dude, it's so tough, dude. Everyone's just jacked and ripped, and I don't know what makes anime tough. Dragon Ball Z is tough. I just need to get your opinion on it.
See, I think it's the same thing like Dragon Ball Z and JoJo. Like, you kind of watch it, and these dudes are like huge, like freak, like athlete kind of types. Obviously, they have like superpowers and stuff. But similar. You watch NFL players. You go work out.
Mm-hmm.
You want to look like these guys. These guys like freak athletes, freaks of nature. It's the same. I guess it's the same kind of thing that like attracts you to it. Just kind of
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think that's where the appeal comes, because if you talk to most athletes, everyone thinks anime is tough. It's the people who aren't athletes who don't think it's tough.
Honestly, yeah, that's the thing. You see a lot of, these guys, they watch a lot of anime. Michael B. Jordan's huge in the anime. Like, I'm not the biggest anime guy.
Yeah,
I'm
me neither.
huge
Like,
on,
that's the only thing I watch, but it's tough.
Yeah, it's just I watch the real mainstream stuff, but I mean, it's not bad. You can't knock it until you try it, honestly. So
yeah.
But all right, moving on. We're going to our X's and O's period. We're going to talk about the Seahawks and the 49ers, probably the best game of the year so far. I think we've gotten back-to-back best games. I think the Patriots and the Ravens was the game of the year up to that point.
I think it was only the game of the year just because the Patriots were getting their dicks kicked in for half of it.
And also just because, an unbeaten team lost. Like, I think whenever that happens, you have to – you got it's going to be a good game. The other team's going to prove that they're who they think they are, and we're going to find out where the weaknesses lie.
Not going to let them off the hook.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference is the Patriots hadn't played anybody. The 49ers had played some competition. They had some big wins under their belt before they came into this game. But this Seahawks offense, Pete Carroll was able to really, and Russell Wilson was able to really get it figured out. I think the biggest thing for me was the way they were able to handle the Salah defense. Robert Salah, the defensive coordinator of the 49ers, he brought a lot of pressure. And what Pete Carroll does, and what I noticed a lot of in this game, was they keep it manageable on third down. First down, they'll run the ball to come out of, they'll be under center. They'll give Chris Carson the ball to let him run. They'll, throw for something short, and then they'll get the third, and it'll be 3rd and 2, less than 3rd and 5, every third down almost for Seattle. And when you're what that's called in football is being ahead of the sticks, and it makes it a manageable, situation on third down. The Seahawks consistently did that. Now, the 49ers defense was able to get pressure on Wilson, a decent amount, but for the most part, they were able to pick up those first downs because that offense is very methodical. Russ is smart, and, his ability to make plays and just be smart in third and short situations, that's kind of the way Pete Carroll calls the game. And, they're not relying on big plays too much. If it's there, it's there. But if it's not, they're going to get their 5, get their 6, get their 7 yards and pick up first downs.
And I think that was funny. I think it came down to like a little tug of war between the two teams. It was this drive they shut down Russell Wilson, this drive they couldn't contain Russell Wilson, which just is another argument as to when Russell Wilson doesn't succeed, the Seahawks don't succeed, and he is the MVP as of right now.
Yeah, and I think he proved it. I mean, it was that game was a game of honestly defensive turnovers too. I mean, both defenses played great, and that game really should have ended before overtime, just because the Seahawks had so many chances to intercept the ball and they just didn't. Yeah. I mean, they had 3 or 4 balls that should have been picked off on the drive before.
It was
49ers drive.
It was before the tying kick, and Jimmy G showed like. I'm not saying the game's too big for him, but he's still like kind of a young QB. He just has over 16 starts. I don't think he's as good as everyone was hyping him up to be before he took a start for San Fran, but he has a lot of time to grow.
For sure, and I think that everything that people have been saying, he's a game manager. He's not a game winner. Wilson's going to win the game for you. Jimmy G's just not there quite yet. He's going to manage the game, but when it comes down to it, I mean, like I said, there's 4 or 5 balls that should have been intercepted on the last 2 drives.
And also, I don't want to hear anything about Russell Wilson's pick in overtime because that was just a ridiculous pick, dude.
Yeah, it was a good spot.
Over the shoulder, I think a linebacker picked it, dude. Like,
exactly.
That's an aggressive linebacker play.
Yeah, and on top of that, he ran it back almost 60 yards afterwards, too.
And the kid freaking shanked the field. That was funny. He missed it
and
so bad. It was a good kick. I mean, it was a good hold, a good snap, and the kick was just so bad it landed in the tunnel. Rob, did you see the video of it landing in the tunnel?
It literally landed.
You hear the one guy in the background start dying. He's, bro, I was crying.
But it's just because and not for nothing, he got him there. Chase McLaughlin. He's from Illinois.
He hit the hardest field goal. He missed the easier one out of the two.
Yeah, exactly. He hit a 47-yard and nailed it right down the middle. And I think what happened on that one is his foot just got a little too close to the ball and he just pulled it. And I mean, you could see because as soon as he kicked, he knew right away. But it's just one of those things where when you're a kicker, if you don't get your steps down the right way, it's not going to come off. I mean, if his foot's maybe 6 inches more to the left, it's a perfect kick. It just went off the inside part of his foot. He was 3 for 4. That was his only missed field goal in the game. So,
and he's a rookie.
He's exactly.
A big position
he's
to put over
been on a few different teams, and he actually is one of the. So this past summer, I interned for an NFL agent, Rob Roche. He's also the agent for Justin Tucker on the Ravens, and McLaughlin's one of his guys. And I remember I actually spoke to Chase on the phone at one point, just talking to him about different. It was like an interview kind of thing that he had me doing. And he's a cool dude. He's really a nice guy. And, he got a shot. He was on the Chargers earlier in the year. I think he had a chance with another team. And, it just sucks that he's going to be remembered for, missing the kick that landed in the tunnel. But, he's solid kicker. It was funny to see it happen. But, yeah, you do hate to see it for the kid because, now every kick matters when you're dealing with kickers, man. That's just how it goes. You got one job. You got to do it. So.
But the good thing for San Fran is they're sitting at, 8-1?
8-1, yep.
Yeah, so no harm, no
foul. Just the big thing about the defense is just Nick Bosa is just so good, man. I mean, there was this one play. He was chasing Russ outside the pocket, and it's rare that you see, Russ having to scramble out of the pocket and the defensive end basically almost sack him from behind. Like, I think he kind of underestimated Bosa, heard the footsteps, and kind of had to get rid of it. And Bosa takes him to the ground, nearly missed the sack. And it's just because he's such a freak of nature. I mean, he's like to bend the corner, get off an offensive alignment, and then chase him from the backside and almost catch him is just ridiculous. I mean, he's so good. He's so good. Easily defensive rookie of the year right now. And, that 49ers defense, they were just bringing a lot of heat. They were third down. They were bringing a lot of heat, and Russ was able to make the throw sometimes. He wasn't other times. And, it was a good game. It was a great game to watch, honestly. You couldn't ask for anything else.
Bosa and Josh Allen, but that's a different argument. Just one thing I want to pinpoint that I noticed a lot is I saw a lot of the defense. So when you play Russell Wilson, the thing is you want him to stay in the pocket. Like, yeah, he could still hit throws, but I felt like that defense, the defense coordinator, I forgot his name, you said it earlier, he's known for being aggressive. He brings a lot of energy. And I think at some point, some of the linemen got too anxious and then opened up the hole for Russell Wilson. And that's what I think was ultimately the downfall of the 49ers defense in that game. And it's just one of those things that's going to happen when you're itching for a sack and stuff like that. Maybe you got one on the last play, but that's when Russell Wilson will gash you for 20 yards and a first down.
Right. And like Salah is the guy's name, but
Yeah.
I know he is. He's nuts. They'll get a sack and he's on the
Oh,
sideline.
dude,
like,
I love
going
that
nuts.
guy. He brings
He
some
has like
crazy
he has
energy.
his own pants guy. I'm pretty sure because
Love that. See, everyone who has a pants guy just wins. You just have to. You
he's
have
a
to have the right pants
crazy
guy.
dude. But yeah, I think that kind of does it for that game. I mean, great game. You know, I kind of was glad that. Well, I like the Seahawks a lot, but I also was glad to see the 49ers lose, just because undefeated teams are annoying, and the 49ers are good, but they're not undefeated good. And I just like to see the Seahawks proving that, you know, they are who we think they are.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Joe, so our next little session here, we're going to talk about our most improved player from up to this point. And Joe, did you want to start with that? I don't know if you had anybody in mind.
I have a couple people in mind, I guess. Hunter Renfrow for the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
He's rookie slot receiver, very unathletic looking. I don't know how he does it. I think we talked about him before on this podcast. I said he looked like like an ice cream, like a little, like, you know how it kind of like is mushy and it kind of widens towards the bottom, but he's a slot receiver and he's really good at what he does. He caught, I think, 2 touchdowns the past 2 weeks. Good fantasy hookup. I like Darren Waller, another one on the team. I think has improved since, if you talk about the couple of years before, you know, he's been struggling with some drug issues. I'm glad he figured it out. Melvin Gordon improved since he started. You know, he started off the game back. He fumbled at the goal line for the Chargers, and now he's. I'm not saying he's lighting it up, but he's noticeably improving. And another one is, before he got hurt, obviously you would agree, I think, Rob, Neville Hewitt for the Jets middle linebacker.
Yeah, I like your picks, Joe. I definitely do. I think might as well name a few. I think one guy, and this week kind of proved it, but I think he's really going to come into his own. And I think this week was just, you know, a preview of things to come. Clowney, just how well he played in the game. I'm pretty sure he had a sack and a half, and he had a defensive touchdown, 4 TFLs, I'm pretty sure. So he's looking really good. I would definitely throw him in there for most improved. Honestly, right now, the front runner for MVP is Wilson, you know, but I think you could make the argument for MVP with Lamar Jackson too, but easily most improved. I think if Wilson wins that, you got to give Lamar most improved, just because, I mean, the difference he's had in this year, just being able to be a little more, you know, pinpoint with his passes. This past week, he had another perfect passer rating. And, you know, obviously we know what he can do on the ground, no doubt in that, but just now he's just so versatile. And he definitely improved from last year as far as going through the air. And the next guy I got is Christian Kirk. Honestly, he's been, you know, that having Kyler Murray throwing him the ball, he's been great. He's been really good. He had 138 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bucs this past week, and he's been playing really well. He was he's from Texas A&M. I believe he was a late first rounder or early second rounder, but either way,
second round. If I remember correctly,
I think he dropped because he was. I remember they were thinking the Cowboys were going to take him, but he dropped. But yeah, he's been playing great. Kyler Murray, he's one of his favorite targets right now, and he's been able to get him the ball a decent amount. And another receiver, actually, who's a second-year guy, James Washington, had a really good week this past week, and I don't know if I'll call him most improved, but if I don't think so. But if he can continue, I think I'd throw him on the Clowney track of just like, we'll see, this past week had a big game, and maybe he could be, lead up to that point. But he had a really good week this past week. Maybe Mason Rudolph, with Juju getting a lot of attention now, he'll be able to get James Washington the ball a lot more in Pittsburgh. But yeah, I think those are my guys. I think the top 2, though, I think Kirk's really going to, he's a dark horse for it, just because he's been playing really well.
And looking back on, I totally forgot this was an actual award that the NFL gives out. So I was trying to pick players people don't really know about, but I have to agree, Lamar Jackson, and even you could say Jamal Adams is in the conversation too.
Just because of how, and Jamal's an interesting pick too, just because I like how he kind of is like, oh, he's a top 3 safety. He's the best safety in the NFL this year. Like, he's made the jump from I'm one of 5 best to the absolute best player.
He's the number 1 rated Pro Football Focus. You can't argue it. You can't argue the stats, and you can't argue what he's doing.
And the only thing, Derwin James is hurt, so there's that. But you don't see Derwin James couldn't affect this defense the way Jamal can affect this defense. It's just not the case. I mean, Derwin James has so much more help. He has Ingram and Bosa helping him out, hence why he has more interceptions because there's more pressure on the quarterback. Things just work out that way. It's just James is not – he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but he's not Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is literally doing it with no one around him. And imagine what his season would look like if Avery Williamson and CJ were still playing. I mean, it would be insane, his numbers right now. So,
yeah, it's actually kind of funny because I can't get a pick because we don't have a pass rush. But hey, I'll be the pass rush. I'll lead the team in sacks and then touchdowns and fumble recoveries and forced fumbles. So you know what, the guy's doing it all.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who just honestly, the last player who we saw at safety making this big a difference is Troy Polamalu. Like the guy who
made
all
a
over the field
play when he tackled Daniel Jones.
He jumped over the. Yep, it's just one of those. He's one of those guys who he makes a difference. He's all over the field, and he's playing three different positions at once. And I think there's times when there'll be blown coverages, and it literally is not his fault. Like this is breakdowns in the secondary that don't come from him. Jamal is very aware of what's going on. He's the best player on the team by far, without question, right now. So.
Can I just take a moment to brag a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Our third pick in the 2018 NFL draft, the number 3 pick in the draft, had more rushing yards than the number 2 pick. And Jamal Adams bullied that number 2 pick to sack fumble Daniel Jones, take that fumble to the house for a touchdown. So this is a little humble brag. We own New York. Get out of here, New York Giants fans. I apologize if I offended anyone, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah, and honestly, I think we are the better team. Saquon had an off day. It kind of weird to see. I think it just the script didn't really lend itself to him having a big day, and we were really good up front, so there's not much he could do all game, truthfully.
Anytime you go down in the fourth quarter 14-0, you can't really run the ball because time becomes a factor.
Yeah, and that obviously affected Saquon's productivity, but they couldn't get going all day on the ground. I mean, our front seven was just really playing well. We got practice squad inside backers, but you know what? We're figuring it out. They figured it out. They got it done, and
I think his name's Kyle Phillips. Him and Quinnen Williams are doing great.
Yeah, Phillips up front. Quinnen Williams doing good.
What's his Jordan Jenkins?
That's what. Yeah, Jenkins had a great game too. He had a really big game. He's gonna have to keep being. I mean, if we want to win games, he's gonna have to be good. He's gonna have to be good. He's gonna have to be our premier pass rusher, if you want to call him that. Whatever. He's got to get it done because it's just not coming from anywhere else. And Quinnen Williams is gonna attract a lot of double teams now, so it's got to come from other places. So
and it's hard to get a sack from the nose guard position.
It is. It's not. I mean, Aaron Donald's a freak when you have that. I mean, even this year, you see his production's going down because it's just not easy to do. You can't, when 2 and 3 guys are touching you every play, you're not going to get to the quarterback. It's just
because it's the fastest way to the quarterback. It's the most protected. So.
Yep.
It's hard to do.
So, Joe, let's move to the picks.
Yep. Pickety picks. We got Thursday. We start off Pittsburgh at Cleveland. I think Pittsburgh has gotten lucky. Like, I'm not going to say their victory against the Rams was lucky, but the week before with Indy, I think Pittsburgh fans are a little riding high right now. I think Cleveland brings them back to earth. Cleveland's only favored -2.5. I like the bet.
Yeah, Joe, I'm going to go against you on this one. I'm going with the Steelers. I
think
that this team, I think they're turning the corner. They're on a run right now. I think they won 3 straight or
I think it was 3 straight, yeah.
3 straight, yeah. And honestly, Minka is playing insane. He's a ball hawk. He's staying around the ball. Mason's coming into his own. He's getting, that O-line's great. I think it's the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to take it. This Browns team's bad. They shouldn't have won last week. They're just I can't go back to them. It's just not going to work. They should honestly trade Odell because it's not worth it. Jarvis is just as good as you need him to be. And honestly, some of that Jarvis production comes from Odell being taken out of it. But something's wrong in Cleveland. I don't know what it is. But, I'm going with the Steelers.
Just a little side note. I will be starting Kareem Hunt this week.
Yeah.
I like the matchup.
Makes sense.
But I do love that Pittsburgh offensive line. We move into Sunday. Atlanta at Carolina. Atlanta just confuses me as a football team. There's like 3 weeks in the entire season that they just show, this is the offense we should be, and I think Carolina's going to win. I mean, I want to bet Atlanta because, they just beat New Orleans, but we all know they're just going to come out and lay an egg. eventually when we bet on them. So if I had to pick, I got to go Carolina. I like the defense. They're minus 5.5. I think that's a trap. The under or the over is 49.5. I think I like that.
Yeah, and I've done it before with the Falcons, but
So
I want to go
hard,
Falcons here.
I want to go with the Falcons. I really do.
I just think they're playing hard for Quinn right now. They don't want him to get fired. And after that Saints win, that's impressive. Putting up 26 and hold them under 10, that's big. I'm just going to go with them just because of that. And I don't feel great about it, but I just think that maybe this is signs of things to come.
Like a turning point.
So I'll go with them. Kind of same logic I'm using with the Steelers.
The thing that's hurting me, I want to, like I said, I want to pick Atlanta. But just before you lock it in, I want you to know there's no Austin Hooper and there's no Devontae Freeman.
No Freeman. I don't care. I think most of the offense is going to come.
Austin Hooper has been arguably the premier tight end in the league. He's been the number one tight end.
He's been one. Yeah. Him. Andrews been pretty good. I mean, I'm still going with Atlanta. I'm still going. It's a big. Okay. I'll still take him. I think it'll be. Julio's got a chance. There's that offense. 26 is 26. And against the Saints, I'll still take it.
Okay. Then we're gonna move on to another Sunday 1:00 game. Buffalo at Miami. The meme says Miami, but reality hits, and I don't think Miami has the past 2 weeks has played a defense as aggressive as Buffalo's. So I kind of got to go Buffalo here.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo. Not much else to really say. They can't. I'm not going to happen 3 weeks in a row. Not happening.
Dallas Cowboys at Detroit. This is another one that the Vegas is confused on. They don't have an over or an under planned yet. I think I got to go Dallas because I don't know what the Matthew Stafford situation is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dallas too. Stafford not being 100% is what I'll be worried about even if he does play. So I'm still going Dallas. Team's good. Lines aren't there without him.
Next game, Denver at Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota. I don't know why we even went with Dallas the week before. Minnesota's a good team.
Yeah, Minnesota's good, and they prove they can do it without Thielen. So I got to go Minnesota here too. I think the logic was that Thielen makes a huge difference. They'll be able to cover up Diggs. It was not the case. Dalvin Cook is ridiculous, so I got to go Minnesota.
Houston at Baltimore, another 1:00 game. I got to go with the hot hand. I got to go with Baltimore. With the team's on fire right now. I wish, me and you, we got together and watched the game with a bunch of people, watched the games on Sunday with a bunch of people. And we looked over at one point and Ryan Greenhouse was sleeping as his team was up 30 points in the third quarter. I don't know what I would do if I was a Jets fan if I could sleep while my team played. I can't even sleep when they're not playing.
It was funny seeing that just when your team's that good that you play a team that hasn't won a game and you blow out a team that hasn't won a game. And I'm going with the Ravens too. Obviously, Joe, this is just they're not obviously. Honestly, the Texans team's really good, but they've been inconsistent and they aren't. This offense isn't what the Ravens' offense is. The Ravens are going to come punch you in the face. They have a quarterback who's a cheat code, and their defense, their secondary is one of the best in the league. So
the over is 49 points. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to say the over is 49 points, and I would be shocked if the Ravens don't put it up at least 32 against this defense, which isn't.
The overs looks good. This over looks great. I would, you almost look at. I would think mid 50s as the over. Would, that would be the line.
These are some good offenses.
Yeah, very, very. They can put up a lot of points, and And Deshaun knows what he's doing on defense, and the Ravens are going to bring it. They're not going to sit in zone. They're going to try to come after him. If he can be on, he can be on. But I guess the under's possible if he has a really bad day throwing the ball. But if you're betting on Watson because Lamar's going to put the points up. So
yes, sir. Another 1:00 game. Jacksonville at Indianapolis. This one confuses me. I don't know if Jacoby Brissett's playing, but I gotta lean Indianapolis. I might change my mind. I'm not sure. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, I'm just gonna. This is one where Ty and Jacoby. I think if both of them aren't playing, and Ty, I'm pretty sure is gonna be out. So if Jacoby plays, I'll go Colts. If he doesn't play, I'll go Jags. Jags are decent. The Jags aren't a bad team. The Jags are a bad team, but without Brissett, the Colts, I don't think they can do it.
Actually, I'm gonna agree with you. If Ty doesn't play, a fun fact, I read it online. The Colts, since I think 2012, are 0-7 without Ty. So he makes an impact. So if Ty doesn't play, I got to go Jacksonville. But it's a divisional game. You never know. But right now, if Ty plays, Indianapolis. If he doesn't, Jacksonville. Next game, we're still in the 1 o'clock. This should be a 4 o'clock game. I don't know what the NFL's doing. New Orleans at Tampa. So I don't think the Saints are going to blow this one. I hope. So I'm going Saints.
Yeah, I'm going Saints too. I think they'll be angry after that loss last week to a Falcons team that was thinking about firing their head coach. So yeah, I'm going Saints here.
And over's 50. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I think, the Saints can go back to the Saints. Thomas will have 2 touchdowns. Breeze will be back to Drew. So I think they'll be fine. I like the over there too.
Holy crap. The next game, New York Jets at Washington. Washington is favored by a point. These are some good bets because the Jets are going to win that game. And the over's 38.5 points. We put up 27 against the Giants last week. I like the Jets.
Yeah, I like the Jets here too. Herndon's out for the season. Winters is out for the season. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
They didn't play half the game anyway last week.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's on top of that right now. Who cares?
Griffin and Wesco, they're fine. They're fine. Mm-hmm. They can come in. They're not as athletic as Herndon, but they'll get the job done. We'll win the game. And yeah, I like those bets too. Honestly, that would be a nice little parlay there. Take the Jets since they're the underdog.
You could literally take any bet in the Jets' favor in this game. You could take them +1. You could just take the money line, or you could take the over. Next game, 4 o'clock games start. We got Arizona at San Fran. Arizona puts up it's a division. Not many people know this if you don't really know the teams. It's a divisional matchup, and divisional matchups are usually a toss-up, especially when we get talking to good teams. But I think San Fran's going to be really mad, and I think they're going to win. It's not going to be an easy game, just like the night game they played. But I got to go San Fran.
Yeah, I'm going to go San Fran, too. I think they kind of, they played this game before. They know what to expect. Kyler, he's having a good year. Kingsbury, they're really doing something special in Arizona with what they have. They're just going to keep building from here. But they're just not the team the 49ers are right now. That defense is something different. And Jimmy G, he'll be ready. He'll be ready.
A bet that I like is Arizona is the underdog, but they are +11.5. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Nah, yeah, I do like I would take that. That kind of reminds me of there was, I think when the Ravens played the Bengals early on, there was like a crazy number, and we were like, oh, you got to take, they're going to put up or maybe it was when the Cardinals played the Ravens, and it was some crazy number, and you're like, you got to take it. Like, they're not that good. So, I like that too.
And the thing is, we should make this a topic for next week that there are 11 pros on each side, so anything could happen. We'll make that our topic next week.
Yeah, I like that.
Teams. Bad teams aren't bad teams.
Yep.
Another 425 game. You got Cincinnati at Oakland. I'm going Oakland.
Yeah, I think you got to take Oakland here. Not much really to talk about with that one.
Oh wow, this is your first time betting Oakland. You say you've never bet.
Yeah, I mean you got to just because they're playing good football, man. They won they won 2 weeks straight now, right?
I think so.
So
they won last week. And
yeah.
And also the Bengals quarterback situation. How do you bench a guy on his birthday? Andy Dalton's not playing. Easy win for Oakland.
And they had him run scout as Lamar last week. I just don't put a receiver at quarterback, dog. Like that's disrespectful.
No, actually, I'm not no disrespect to Lamar. Andy Dalton's a good athlete. Like I know he's not Lamar, but
yeah.
You remember they clocked his speed when he was sorry, I'm freaking cold. I had blown in my hands. They clocked in his speed when he played receiver like on a crazy play for the Bengals, and they clocked him in at over almost 20 miles an hour. So the guy's fast.
That is actually impressive. Yeah, that is impressive.
And so did you just turn on your Xbox?
Yeah, just like
yeah. And Sam actually, speaking of QBs running fast, he clocked in on that 24-yard run at 18.27 miles per hour. He could have got pulled over.
Which seemed kind of fast. I didn't think it didn't look like he was running, the close
he could have got
20,
pulled over in the Six Flags parking lot.
Yeah.
If he was just running. Final 425 game, New England at Philadelphia. I want to go New England. Like my mind says New England, but these past couple weeks have just been so stupid. I feel like Philly is one of those teams that they just have their number. I think I'm leaning Philly.
I'm going to take the Pats. I would take I don't care what the number is, though. I would definitely take the line, whatever I'll take the spread on Philly pretty much. But I literally could care less with the number. I would take that. I will parlay that this week. But,
yeah, it's plus 3.5, and it's going to change.
Yeah, so I would take it. I would take that, but I'm going with the Pats. I think it'll be a very, very, very close game, but I'm taking the Pats.
And the over is only 44.5 points.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess where you can kind of argue for the over, taking the over would be if this Pats, Tom Brady's going to be able to carve this secondary. That's the thing. I mean, he's got Sanu, he's still got Edelman. He's working. He can still work a secondary. So it's Philly secondary is still biggest hole on that team. So that'll be the over, the appeal to take it.
On the Sunday night game, you got Chicago at LA. Dude, these are the battle of the disappointing teams. It's literally a toss-up. Chicago should have lost because if Matt Stafford played, and LA is just bad. LA is favored -6. I'd take Chicago plus 6.5, but I literally don't know who's going to win that game. I might just give myself a tie.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to go with the Rams here just because they just have a better team on paper and they do not play like they're the better team at all. And this Bears offense is just terrible. Like, I just don't know what they're doing. They're like confused. They can't get Montgomery going.
Really bad lately. I don't know.
Dude. He has, but I'll take Goff over whoever they decide to put at under center in Chicago. So that's just where that's where my head is with that.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to go Chicago though. I'm thinking LA, but if you're going to bet, I do like Chicago plus 6.5 being the underdog. And the over's 40 points. There might be 3 total points scored. So
possible.
Actually, I'm going LA because I like Cooper Kupp. Never mind.
He had a bad week last week.
He got me 0 fantasy points, dude. 0.
It doesn't last forever, though, man. It really doesn't.
How do you get 0 fantasy points? And I still won.
Fitzpatrick.
Final game of the week. Kansas City at LA. Kansas City is they're in that don't hit panic mode yet, but if they lose a couple games, they're finding themselves in a wild card. I gotta go Kansas City, though.
I got to go Kansas City, too. I don't think it'll happen. The Chargers have been equally as, sporadic, so there's that. But, Joe, they got to win, man. I don't know what's going on with these Chiefs. It's going to be interesting trying to pick them these next coming weeks. But,
Dude,
if they have it –
it's not like that's not a competitive division.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting. It is interesting out there. But if they have a statement win here, I think they'll kind of get us back on the track of things. You can't forget that Patty was out and now he's back, but how is he 100%? I mean, yeah, he made a couple throws to make you think he's okay, but come on, he dislocated his knee. He had a bad ankle sprain that he was kind of just playing through. So he's not 100% So another week maybe he got a little better to probably give him easy week of practice to get him back to 100%. So we'll see.
But yeah, that's the picks. That was the Monday night game.
All right. So now, if we want to go just college football, fantasy, college football, Penn State was upset this past Saturday by Minnesota. So it's looking interesting up front now. LSU beats Alabama. Joe Burrow is, I'm pretty sure he's leading the Heisman race right now. I doubt he could. I don't know how he couldn't be. But It was a great game. I watched parts of it. We watched parts of it on Saturday. My team, Oregon, they're still on the outside looking in. They got to win out. If they win out, they should be fine. If Utah wins out and then Oregon, beats Utah in the Pac-12 championship, then they'll be in. They'll get the 4th spot. Barely, but they should get in. They should. And Auburn, if Auburn continues to win, then that'll be good too. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be real interesting up top these last couple weeks.
Yeah, Notre Dame. I checked out, and we blew out the Blue Devils. We have the midshipmen. Honestly, I've never even heard of them. I'm not really college savvy. Probably gonna win 2:30 p.m. game. But like I'm so checked out of this season, dude. How do you lose to Michigan? I'm still not over it. I won't get over it until next year. I'm speechless still with this team.
See, like that's the thing about college football. Once you lose those 2 games,
it's just over.
You're really done. Yeah, you got to lose either, especially if you lose to a really bad team, which is gonna be the be all and end all for Georgia because they had that bad loss. So if that's gonna kick them out. That's why Oregon will have a shot to get in, and we'll see. But yeah, once you lose that second game, man, Oregon almost lost to Washington State for the second year in a row. But found a way to get it done, and here we are. So
and. We could actually take a little time to talk about this. I don't have much to say about fantasy. They need to expand the playoff in college. Like, I know it's hard to do, but like
6 teams wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, and one loss shouldn't just cave your whole season.
And if there's 6 teams, then it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like if you have one loss, then you're fine because Oregon's sitting at 6 and we're happy because it's like the top 2 guys get a bye and then you got to play and then and I think that actually helps because you figure if Oregon's playing the 3 team. Then you're playing a team that you can like potentially, get warmed up for. Beat that other team is having 4 weeks off potentially, and then you get a shot that you're more tuned for a game than they are because they've been off for so long. So it makes it really a good situation.
And I think either way, Notre Dame would have been out of it because they just took that bad loss to Michigan.
But the rain the rain was bad.
But Michigan was hindered by it too, and
true.
So there's no excuse, and. But we would have been looking a lot better if we beat Oklahoma. Was it Oklahoma or was it? Yeah, it was Georgia. If we beat Georgia, we had a game-winning drive and it just stalled out. But that loss means a lot less if there are 6 teams in the playoff.
Exactly. So it's one of those things, they want to – I mean, at one point there was an argument for, there needs to be a playoff. 2 teams shouldn't be there. We got the playoffs. So maybe they'll expand it. I hope they do, but I think it's going to take some time because it took them some time to get the actual playoffs. So We'll see. But, I mean, I don't see it not happening, and, especially with the way things are going, we're starting to be more professional with college anyway. I think there's no reason the next,
stuff like that.
Bro, in the next 7-8 years, there's no reason why we might not see 8 teams in the playoff.
Yeah, and I'd love to see that too.
It just is better for the sport, honestly. Like you think about March Madness, there's no reason why there shouldn't be some kind of thing for football. I mean, more people are going to watch football, so we'll see.
And honestly, you could cut the season even by a week and start it earlier.
That's the thing.
There's just so many things you could do. Get rid of bowls
because these teams play these teams that are awful. If you got rid of there's those like out. 2. Yep, cut one of those games. Have one game where you have like a scrimmage against some team. Have 2 bye weeks like the big teams do have. And then just come in, and then you got to play another game in the playoffs. And there's no reason they can't do it. It's just a matter of time, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
So, if we want to talk about fantasy, I don't really have much to say. I mean, I got an outside shot in the dark. I won my 2nd game in a row now. I'm sitting at 3-7 now. So if I went out, I got a shot at the playoffs. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens.
I won all 3 of my games. I'm happy. And the Jets won. It was like a perfect week. I made the right choice. Actually, here's a fun fact. If I started Russell Wilson, which people were telling me, what are you doing? Are you stupid? I would have lost. And I picked Sam Darnold over Russell Wilson, and I actually won because of it. So every little fantasy thing you make, every decision you make impacts your chance of victory. So make sure you think it through, matchups. And even in overtime, Russell Wilson still would have lost me the game.
Which is actually crazy to think about. But, sometimes you call it right. Sometimes you call it right, and that's big,
I didn't call it right last week. I mean, when it comes to when it comes to fantasy, I did. But when it comes to picks, I think I had 9. I had 9 losses, so I got to improve.
Yeah, I was 5-8 last week. I think I don't know what game I picked.
We split on Oakland, I think, and then you got the 49ers at Seahawks.
That was it. That was probably the game.
So I was at 4-9.
So we're close. We're close coming down the stretch, and we'll see. We still got a lot of football left, though, Joe. There's a lot of time.
Yeah, there's a lot of football left, but it doesn't matter because you missed a week, so we'll just keep our records just to taunt them around. But it's just getting worse if I keep picking like this. I was sitting before this week 85, 61, and 2.
And this, okay, so you went like 89. Okay, yeah, so Getting close to 500, bro.
Yeah, it's a scary thing. It's scary.
Yeah. But, all right, guys. Thanks for listening to Playbook. It's been another week. Week 11, we got our picks in. We talked a little bit about the Seahawks. If you want to find us, you can find us on Instagram at SportsOpinion30. You can find us on Twitter at Sports Opinions Podcast. You can find me at Rob Planner Jr. on Twitter and at REPJR on Instagram. Joe, you want to shout yourself out?
Yeah, Joe Hack _ on Twitter and Joseph Hackett _ on Instagram. And SoundCloud, of course, Joey says.
Joey says on SoundCloud. Joe's been working. There'll be more new stuff coming out soon, so we'll see.
I've been working.
Yeah, we got to get this one up, get it promoted, and we'll be good. But all right, guys, we'll see you next week.